Things I could have done that would have been more fun than watching this episode include having bamboo shoots shoved under my fingernails and getting a hot wax enema from a rabid baboon. It starts out with Jon Snow arriving at Dragonstone, meeting Tyrion for the first time since season 1. The scene was nice, but, kind of pointless, what with all they have to get through this season. But Tyrion's always a good time, so that was fine. Tyrion takes him to Queen Daenerys, and we spend the next 15 minutes hearing all of her titles. A pointlessly long scene that hopefully was just done for the comedy of when Jon Snow was introduced as Jon Snow. And King and Queen meet and bicker. Jon wants to fight an army of the dead, and Daenerys just really wants to rule the Seven Kingdoms no matter the cost. She gives a very good supervillain speech where she is the rightful heir and she will take all of the Seven Kingdoms no matter what. It's really kind of disappointing, the meeting of Jon and Daenerys that people have been looking forward to for 7 years now. But Varys comes in and kicks him out and tells him about the Greyjoys and the Dornish women being caught by Euron. Euron? I think he has a pee fetish. We're going to go with Euron. We cut right to him parading people through the streets of King's Landing because those people never get tired of flinging shit at helpless tied up people. Into Queen Cersei, who is the best thing to happen in this entire episode. We get to see the Queen's Justice, which is, kind of sick itself. I say if you're going to kill somebody, just kill them, but she's theatrical. She chains them up in the dungeon, poisons the daughter, and makes the mother watch after long speeches about skull crushing and dead children. But it's hard to feel bad for a bunch of child murderers. So Cersei leaves, realizes all this talk of crushed skulls and actively murdering people has made her really horny. So she goes for celebratory incest with her brother, which is, what people do, I think. It's natural reaction to having just murdered somebody is, I have to go have sex with my brother. It's what I would do, really. They fish Theon out of the lake. This scene was pointless. I don't know why it was in there. That could have been accomplished off screen. Then we go to Sansa in Winterfell. She is commanding. She is good at it. She is intelligent. So that was nice. But it goes straight from that to Jaime Lannister's greatest crime. Not killing Brandon Stark. God, I wish he was dead. And in this episode, he shows that his range goes from boring to creepy as hell. He decides to talk about how he's relived Sansa's wedding night, where she was raped for the first time, and talks about how beautiful she looked and what a lovely night it was, and really disturbing crap. Maybe it's because he's the three-eyed raven, and three-eyed ravens think rape is great, but whatever. She gets up and leaves, which, is the least she could do. I think she probably should have smacked him around for a while, but whatever. They go back to Dragonstone so Tyrion can talk to Jon Snow and then talk to Daenerys, try and get them to be friends. So Daenerys and Jon Snow talk to each other for a really long time. They're not going to be friends, but he can have Dragonglass to fight the army of the dead, which is the only sensible thing she's done since she got here. And then it's time for what we've all been waiting for, seizing Casterly Rock, which was so disappointing. So short and covered up by Tyrion's talking about it. He's talking the whole time over it. it takes less than 2 minutes. Sitting through the list of Daenerys' titles took longer than seizing this giant fortress, which then turned out to be a ruse. Apparently Varys and Tyrion and everyone else in Dragonstone has no spies or scouts of any kind, since you can take all of the armies out of Casterly Rock, march them cross-country to Highgarden, and no one will notice or report to you. Varys used to know everything. Now he knows nothing. And it does show, because Euron Greyjoy's magical ninja fleet, which apparently can appear anywhere around Westeros at any time. I wouldn't be surprised if they were surrounding Winterfell next episode, because they were in Dragonstone, Dorne, King's Landing, now all the way over to Casterly Rock, and no one noticed any of that either. So it burns their fleet in the harbor, and the Unsullied are in Casterly Rock. I don't know why they wouldn't then just march to Highgarden too, but we'll see what happens. Then it shows the Lannisters taking Highgarden. Highgarden apparently has the least effective defensive fortifications of any castle in the history of making castles, because this doesn't even warrant a battle scene. Just Jaime walking through the halls and some bodies being piled up. They took it quicker than a sneeze. Quicker than the list of Jon Snow's titles, which were Jon Snow, King of the North. Then, the best scene with Olenna, who decides to die with dignity and mock Jaime on her way out. It was so good. She drank the glass of poison and then talked almost lovingly about Joffrey's poisoning. Tells him she did it and that he hopes he'll tell Cersei because he wants her to know. It was a really good ending. Things we missed out on in this episode was Arya didn't make another random encounter in the woods. The Hound wasn't in it at all, even though people think he was the best thing in the first episode. And Grey Worm didn't get to make love to anybody, so we're never going to know what he's got going on in the trouser department. Is he like a Ken doll? Is there a little nub to pee with? Is he just castrated, so no balls? These are the questions people want answered, I think. But maybe we'll find out next time. And maybe there will be no Bran. That would be good. So until then.